Welcome back, Brew Crew. We are continuing my countdown of my top 100 board games of all time. And today we are looking at numbers 90 to 81. This batch covers a ton of ground, from cozy tile layers and making cheese in the French countryside, to sprawling space operas and epic Age of Sail adventures. Let's jump right in.
90.
Number 90 is Stone Age, designed by Bernd Brunhofer and published by Hans im Gluck. Stone Age is one of the quintessential gateway worker placement games. Players take turns sending their tribe members out to gather resources, develop agriculture, build huts, and yes, visit the infamous Love Hut to expand the tribe for future rounds. Each action space has a different effect or benefit, but what really defines Stone Age is its dice-based resource gathering. If you send 3 workers to the forest, you'll roll 3 dice and divide that total by the resources value to see how much wood you actually collected. It's tactile, it's unpredictable, and it gives the game an approachable sense of fun. What I love about Stone Age is that it beautifully blends luck and strategy. You can plan, but if the dice don't roll your way, then you might not be able to perform the other actions you would hope to take that round. It's sometimes frustrating, but always exciting. Plus, there's a great rhythm between short-term needs like feeding your tribe and long-term goals such as collecting civilization cards or building huts. It's a great example of light strategy done right.
89.
Number 89 is Port Royal, designed by Alexander Pfister and published by Pegasus Spiel. Mr. Pfister is back. After kicking off this series with Oh My Goods at number 100, he joins us again on this segment with Port Royal. Port Royal is a clever push-your-luck card game mixed with engine building and tactical timing. On your turn, you draw cards from a central deck, revealing ships, people, and events. Each ship you reveal gives you potential income, unless you draw 2 ships of the same color, which completely busts your entire turn. But having many ships of a different color will allow you to purchase more cards to add to your tableau. The push your luck tension is brilliant because you are constantly balancing greed against safety. Do you draw 1 more card for a bigger payday, or stop and recruit a powerful character like a governor or a priest who will help you with your long-term strategy? The big box edition adds expansions that layer in missions and events, and even cooperative modes, giving the game surprising depth. It's light, fast, and scales perfectly from 2 to 5 players. One of those just 1 more game fillers that hits the table far more often than you would expect.
88.
Number 88 is Pulsar 2849, designed by Vladimir Suchy and published by Czech Games Edition. Vladimir Suchy really knows how to blend elegance with crunchy Euro strategy, and Pulsar 2849 is one of his best examples. This is a dice drafting, point salad-y space game where players explore the galaxy, patent technologies, and build massive energy transmitters called gyrodynes around pulsars. Each round starts with a shared pool of dice that players draft in turn order, but it's not just about the numbers. Every die value also affects your position on 2 key tracks, turn order and engineering bonuses. That simple twist makes even a low roll feel strategically interesting. The game's open structure lets you pursue multiple paths to victory, exploration, technology, energy distribution, and it's deeply satisfying watching your system of gyrodynes pop up across the board. It's a Euro game that feels thematically big, which is no small feat.
87.
Number 87 is The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, The Trick-Taking Game, designed by Brian Bornmueller and published by Office Dog. This small box title takes the familiar rhythm of trick-taking and wraps it in a fully cooperative Lord of the Rings theme. Each round, players choose character cards, which will provide them with a certain objective for that hand. The goal is to collectively manage hazards and complete chapters on your journey to Rivendell. What is fascinating here is how it uses traditional trick-taking mechanics, following suits, managing hand tempo, but with a shared goal. Sometimes you have to intentionally lose a trick to make sure you hit your objective or to help someone else achieve theirs. It's all about subtle coordination without table talk. And it reminds me very much of The Crew in this way. It captures that sense of camaraderie beautifully. You're not competing, you are surviving together. It's elegant, tense, and easy to replay, especially if you enjoy the books and can get into the theme and the campaign. And the stained glass artwork is absolutely gorgeous.
86.
Number 86 is Star Wars Rebellion, designed by Corey Konechka and published by Fantasy Flight Games. Few games feel as epic as Star Wars Rebellion. It's a two-player asymmetric strategy game. One side controls the Empire, hunting the rebel base, while the other runs the rebellion, spreading influence, completing secret missions, and trying to outlast overwhelming odds. Mechanically, it is part area control, part hidden movement, and part narrative sandbox. Each round, players assign iconic leaders, Luke, Vader, Leia, Tarkin, to missions that advance their cause. You might send Han Solo to sabotage an Imperial factory or deploy the Death Star to obliterate an entire system. The game shines in its storytelling. Even though the mechanics are tight, the real magic is how the narrative unfolds organically. It really feels like you are playing your own version of the Star Wars saga. It's long, it's dramatic, and it's one of the most cinematic experiences you can have on the tabletop.
85.
Number 85 is Merchants and Marauders, designed by Christian Markussen and Casper Agard, and published by Z-Man Games. Set in the Caribbean during the golden age of piracy, Merchants and Marauders gives the players the freedom to carve out their destiny, whether as an honest trader, a ruthless pirate, or something in between. It's a sandbox adventure game with a focus on emergent storytelling. You sail from port to port, trading goods, upgrading your ship, hiring crew, and picking up rumors that can lead to hidden treasures or dangerous encounters. Combat uses dice and modifiers in a satisfying and cinematic way. It's tense and swingy without being too overwrought, just like a good naval battle should be. What I love about Merchants and Marauders is that every playthrough tells a completely different story. Maybe your merchant becomes a feared pirate after a single betrayal, or your pirate retires rich after one legendary haul. It's immersive, risky, and endlessly replayable. One of those games that feels like a living world. Even though it's only number 85 on my list, I think this may be the game that I would be most excited to see a second edition announcement for. It would be amazing to see some of the actions streamlined a bit, as long as it doesn't lose that epic sandbox feel.
84.
Number 84 is Cascadia, designed by Randy Flynn and published by Flatout Games and AEG. Switching gears from Merchants and Marauders, Cascadia is a peaceful tile laying and token drafting puzzle game where you are building out a landscape of the Pacific Northwest and populating it with different wildlife. On your turn, you take a habitat tile and its associated animal token, then place both according to adjacency rules and scoring goals. The heart of Cascadia lies in its overlapping spatial puzzles. You're trying to match terrain types for geography bonuses and arrange animals in specific patterns based on randomized scoring cards. Maybe salmon want to form long runs while hawks prefer to be spread apart. It's one of those games that is relaxing and brainy at the same time. There is zero conflict, but tons of satisfaction when everything lines up perfectly. Plus, it scales beautifully. Solo, family, game night, whatever. Cascadia just works. And it's probably one of my most recommended games at the moment.
83.
Number 83 is Fromage, designed by Matthew O'Malley and Ben Rossett and published by Road to Infamy Games. In Fromage, you run a small artisanal cheese-making business in the French countryside, and it is every bit as charming as it sounds. Mechanically, it's a worker placement and timing puzzle built around a rotating board. Each turn, you can place a worker on the section of the action wheel that is facing you to produce, age, or sell cheese. You have to plan carefully, though, because you will not be able to retrieve your workers until the board rotates in such a way that the worker is facing you. This creates a fantastic sense of tempo and timing. You're always weighing whether or not you can afford to put a worker out, or if you should wait until another section comes around. It's approachable and quick, but surprisingly thinky, and the gameplay is incredibly smooth, just like a game about cheesemaking should be.
82.
Number 82 is Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition, designed by Sidney Engelstein, Jacob Frixelius, and Nick Little, and published by Stronghold Games and Frix Games. Ares Expedition is essentially Terraforming Mars, the card game. It keeps the core engine building DNA of the original, but trims down the overhead and the playtime. The big twist here is the simultaneous phase selection system borrowed from games like Race for the Galaxy. Each round, players secretly choose one of 5 phases, like build, research, or produce, and everyone performs the selected actions, but those who chose it get a small bonus. This keeps downtime low and tension high. You're constantly trying to predict what others might choose while balancing your hand of project cards that improve production, terraform the planet, or combo off of each other for massive endgame points. It's fast, it's smart, and it scratches that Terraforming Mars itch in half the time. In fact, this might get me in trouble with some folks in the audience, but I actually sold my copy of Terraforming Mars after picking this one up.
81.
And speaking of Race for the Galaxy, it is my number 81, designed by Tom Lehman, published by Rio Grande Games. Race for the Galaxy is the blueprint for a whole generation of card-driven engine builders. Each turn, players secretly choose one of several phases, just like in Ares Expedition. And then all the chosen phases are resolved in order. What makes it brilliant is how it blends simultaneous play with deep strategy. The iconography is famously dense at first, but once it clicks, you're flying through turns, chaining worlds and technologies together into elegant combos. There's no direct conflict, but the race aspect is real. You're trying to constantly gauge what others are building and try to make sure that you are ending the game on your terms. It's lightning fast, incredibly replayable, and still one of the most elegant designs ever made. All right, there you have it. That's games 90 to 81, a mix of strategic Euros, thematic adventures, and quick card games. Next time we'll jump into the 70s, where things get even more competitive as we make our way to the top. As always, Drop a comment letting me know which of these games you've enjoyed or which ones would end up in your top 100. And while you're there, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next round of my all-time favorites. And until then, let's get another round for the table.